Well, we all know where we are coming from pre-COVID pandemic, where 2019, we had reached a certain point where our foreign exchange earning had hit 1.6 billion US dollars. In terms of arrivals, 1.5 million. We're contributing up to 7.7% to the GDP. Direct employment, formal employment, 667,000. So that's the point where we were in 2019. And of course, 2020, we went to zero. And 2021, since the country opened up for tourism on the 1st of October 2020, it was at the end of the year, but also we still had the restrictions, which didn't encourage very many people, even who wanted to come to Uganda, to do so. But the statistics are not so bad, considering that we received up to about 113,000 arrivals and about a third of the foreign exchange earnings. We also took more time after the first lockdown to encourage more of domestic tourism. What we did was to actually do a study, carry out a survey to understand what has been the issue that Ugandans don't want to travel their own country. Because we hear this all the time. Ugandans are going to Mombasa, Ugandans are going to Dubai, and yet they don't know their own country. So our survey revealed some very critical factors that we are dealing with right now. One is awareness. Many Ugandans who can afford to travel around didn't actually know where exactly to go, what to go and do. Even when you talk about, as much as they might have been aware about the national parks, it was not very clear to them. What kind of facilities are there? What activities do I do when I go in there? How do I access? Awareness was on top of the factors that was affecting domestic tourism, which we immediately started addressing with the domestic campaign that we launched in 2020, Take on the Pearl. And it's a continuous process. We are making use of the digital platforms. We are making use of, we are working very closely with the media. The biggest challenge definitely has been COVID. We had up to about 70% of the people working in the industry laid off their jobs, put aside in the 2 years. That's a huge number. But also very sad is that we have had the property owners, hotel owners, lodge owners affected so greatly. But we do appreciate very much the interest for those who have invested in the industry, because you can see a number of them are coming back. Up to about 35% of the job lost have been recovered. Our responsibility is given to us, in the mandate spelled out in the Tourism Act 2008. One is to promote Uganda as a preferred tourism destination, and two, product development. We work very closely with the private sector to ensure that we diversify the products that we are offering to the market, both for the domestic market but also for the international market. Our competitiveness is in the diversity that we are as a destination. Uganda has the depth, the range, and the variety that Africa has. It is very unique. If we are talking cultural tourism, we have diversity of culture in this country. If we are talking of adventure tourism, from mountaineering to rafting to bungee jumping to zip lining. We have it here. You can experience it here. I mean, we have 54% of the world population of mountain gorillas, the chimpanzees. We have 50% of the African birds population, you know, in terms of the identified species in Uganda. So our uniqueness, our competitive positioning is really the diversity that we offer. And that also means that we are a destination that offers value for money. It becomes cheaper for an international to fly into Uganda and experience all this diversity as opposed to flying from one country to another to experience the different things. Ugandans need to prepare a little bit better for the growth that we expect. We recently put up a notice about, as the regulator as well, we are mandated to regulate the sector, so we are calling upon all Ugandans who are in the tourism business to register and get licensed by Uganda Tourism Board, because that's the only way you get to do your business legally. We are also preparing to start grading the facilities, because we need to match the quality to the pricing. Well, some of the things that are in plan is we know that tourism has two aspects to it. There's the leisure tourism that we are always talking all the time, but in Uganda Tourism Board, we are also positioning ourselves for MICE. That is the business tourism. MICE is meetings, incentives, conferences, and events. So we are positioning ourselves appropriately for that. And in the near future, we would want to see that Uganda is not only trending and is positioned for just the leisure tourism, but also for the business tourism. Where in 2018, we were rated the 10th best destination in Africa for MICE. 2019, we went up to being the 6th. We had positioned ourselves to be among the top 3, at least in 2020. COVID interrupted that, so we are positioning ourselves for that.